How's it going, guys? My name is Coach Liebel here at Jacksonville University, coaching for the men's lacrosse program. I'm an assistant coach, and I also work with Sweet Lex Academy. All right, guys, today we're going to talk about the off-ball posture of defenders. It's really difficult for an on-ball defender to do his job properly if and when the off-ball defenders are not doing their job. Everyone has a role, a responsibility, and it's ever-changing, so we're going to take you through that first. If you're adjacent to the ball carrier on a dodge, right? When a ball carrier is dodging down the alley, your off-ball posture, off-ball adjacently, 2 passes away, 3 passes away, it doesn't matter. What your job to do is have your head on a swivel, you're in a bent athletic stance with your feet about shoulder width apart, your stick is up and in, and the head of your stick must be above your own head. So it looks exactly as Coach Grinelli here. All right, his stick is up and in, his head is on a swivel, he's looking for danger around him, he's making sure that if a guy does cut through, he can use his stick as his length to be able to touch as a secondary portion, a secondary opportunity for him to not just look at the offensive player, he's using his stick as his eyes, right? And then at that point, we're thinking about what the offensive player is doing. So when the offensive player is dodging and he has his eyes up to the interior, what we're thinking is if our head and our stick is up and this off-ball defender looks dangerous, looking to make a play, it's really going to make that offensive player second guess what he's doing. If your stick is on your hip and you're standing there with your knees not bent and you're looking away, I'm going to be throwing that ball through without any hesitation. All right? Again, if that stick is up and in, hungry off-ball posture, I'm going to second guess throwing that ball because it looks like he's looking at me, waiting for me to throw that ball. So we've not only bought time for our on-ball defender, for our off-ball defenders to be able to react, but we've also deterred any space from being attacked. And then at that point, the ball will be thrown adjacently where we'll head next. Here, and you guys tell me as the viewers what you would rather throw as an offensive player. What would you rather do? Would you rather throw the ball through, all right, with a defender with a stick on his hip? Maybe it's in his right hand outside of the paint. All right, the answer is yes, because it's all wide open. All right, just like you would see a golfer, say Tiger Woods, ball's in the middle of the fairway, there's no trees around, he's hitting that ball without any hesitation, without him thinking about anything else. Now, if the stick is up and in, right, I'm hesitating, I'm thinking about it, buying time as a defender, and I'm probably not going to be throwing that ball. If I do throw that ball, the chances of me throwing that ball through 5 other sticks is probably pretty low for me to throw the ball to my man that I want to throw the ball to, my teammate. Now, equating it to golf again, if you think of Tiger Woods, right? If that ball is in the rough or by a tree line, what is he going to do before he just goes up and hits that ball? He's going to address it. He's going to look how many different sticks and trees and twigs are in the way. What is he doing? He's assessing. What are we doing as we're talking? We're wasting and buying time. So the big piece here is, can we buy time defensively? All right, can we deter the offense from throwing that ball through and forcing them to throw singles, which equivalently is helping us as a defensive unit. Guys, now we're going to talk about the pre-approach. The ball has been thrown to your man or is going to be thrown to your man, regardless of that situation. All right, you're assessing, you're finding the target, your posture is the utmost importance at this point. Now, our stick, as it was up and in, all right, we now have to bring that stick down and out. What we want to do is rip that sword out, get it down and out in front of us as quickly as we can, and then we're going to be approaching the ball carrier, right, with our head up, our chin up, our chest up, and we're going to be in an athletic stance. Now we'll talk about this from the side to see exactly how we want our stick to be, how we want our feet to be, all right, and our angle. All right, go back. My off-ball posture, ripping the sword out, all right, bring that stick out in front of us, head is up, chin is up, chest is up, I'm approaching the ball carrier, my left hand, my bottom hand is relatively even with my left knee and my left pocket, all right, in this area outside of my hip, and then my right hand is by my belly button. My stick is elevated, and if the offensive player is catching that ball, because I'm using all 6 feet of my stick, this head of my stick should be below my sternum and even and in between his belly button and his sternum. Why would that be? If I am approaching the ball and my stick is down and out and he decides to switch hands, all right, if we're talking about percentages, offensive player's stick is gonna go more times than not, about 90 to 95% right in this area, which is where we're gonna have our stick at all times. It's very important to be in an athletic stance. Once I'm getting there, I wanna make sure that I'm in a staggered stance with my hips and my chest squared to the opponent. My right foot is forward, my left foot's back. My left foot is pretty much even, all right, on the same plane as my right heel. I'm in an athletic stance, as I've said, and what I like to do with our guys a lot is, I'm sure it's a dying breed here and a dying sport, if you will, with dancing, all right? You should be able to dance in place with your light feet to be able to read and react when a ball carrier is gonna be dodging you. If you're heavy or if your feet are side by side, what am I gonna do when a ball carrier dodges me? He's already got me beat because my first step, I automatically have to open up my hips. He's automatically won the initial battle. All right, guys, we've had a different array of drills that we've already talked about here. Okay, the first one was the pre-approach, our off-ball posture, okay, the approach, and our arrival. Now, within the arrival, there's 3 to 4, really about 10 different things that you could do when you're approaching the ball carrier. As we've talked about, the ball carrier, as we know, we don't know what he's gonna do, all right? There's guys who are really quick. They like to lean on you, all right? They like to set you up, pop back out. There's a variety of dodges, and we gotta be prepared for all of them. So, on our approach, to focus on our footwork, all right, what we wanna do to get comfortable is we first wanna walk to our opponent, all right? So, you'll hear a whistle. You can do this with just another person. They could say go. You can change your hips so that you're going to your strength if you'd like to keep your stick up and in. But after, all right, whistle blows, I'm breaking down, I'm walking out, sitting in my stance, and then I'm splashing my feet, slowing down, and maintaining my gap control once I get to my opponent. My feet are staggered, I'm in an athletic stance, I'm ready to go if he decides to run towards me. All right? Next one will be a jog, all right? We'll take our time, we'll be about 50% of what we would do in a game or in a live practice. All right, so it looks like this. I'm out there, I'm running a little bit further, I'm splashing my feet when I get there, maintaining my stance, my posture, my gap control, same setting, same format, just doing it a little bit faster. Last one here will be a full sprint. Just like in a game, ball's thrown through, you have to get there as quickly as you can, and you gotta do it eliminating any type of false steps, all right, taking away any type of angle, all right, thinking in your mind where the ball carrier is trying to go. All right, for us, we're just gonna be focusing on squaring up, which is the utmost important, talking about the fundamentals right away, all right? We don't wanna get into angling our bodies yet. We wanna make sure that we're doing the fundamentals of squaring up with the offensive player first. So, as soon as the whistle's blown, full out sprint, and then I gotta break down with my feet, make sure that I'm in a good posture, and then I'm ready to react. All right, guys, the next progression we're talking about is essentially the retreat. When a ball carrier starts moving towards you, how are you gonna react? How are you gonna continue to keep yourself in fundamental form to put yourself and your teammates behind you in the best situation possible to be able to deter the ball carrier from going in the cage? So, once I've gotten out there and approached the ball, you do this with your partner, you'll hear a whistle or you'll say go, and what you're gonna do is walk exactly as you did out, all right, back to that 10 yards. So I'll say go, he'll walk towards me, go, and all I'm doing is maintaining my gap with my stick out in front of me. I'm walking all the way through, keeping my hips from not opening up yet, being in athletic stance, keeping my head and chin and chest up, because we're not ready for it initially. So, as soon as he goes, what we'll do, all right, what a lot of guys will do is they'll stand up and then they'll push their foot back to be able to create that gap. Or they'll bring their stick to the side. Or their stick will be angled outward. Or their stick will be up. All right, a lot of different scenarios that we've seen in the past. One, if my stick's up and I'm showing the ball carrier my knuckles, he's won. He's gonna be able to get into this 6 feet. I have less time to read and react, and I'm leaving my teammates out to dry too, because once he comes by me, they have less time to react as well. Stick down and out, maintain that gap. Keep it in between his hips, keep my stick elevated, all right? As I'm retreating, all right, I'm not opening my hips up. I'm being an athlete. I'm retreating, maintaining my gap. Once he makes a move with his stick, staying on this plane, my stick will be there to deter him and ultimately force the ball carrier to make a play and make a split dodge or run by me further away from my body, giving me the chance to be able to react. We're gonna approach the ball carrier, same thing. We'll say go together. He'll jog towards me. I'll maintain that gap and I'll make sure my hips are squared, maintaining my posture, going all the way through that line. Our ability to maintain the gap control, to read and react to the opponent, all right, is teaching our body and our mind muscle memory. So, go out, approach the ball, go, good, good, good. All right, very important here. You know, I'm old, all right, I can't do this to the best of some guys, but what I want you guys to understand is you're using the head of your stick as your gauge. If he gets into my stick right away, all right, and what a lot of guys do, they'll bring the head of their stick into their body and their left hand will go back. I'm not gonna be able to make a play. I have no leverage if he gets into me, all right? I'm probably gonna have to use my hands at that point and I'm beat, all right? When my stick starts to touch as he's getting into me, all right, that's me, in my mind, a gauge of me reading, okay, if I bring my stick back, not good defense. What do I gotta do? Take a longer step to retreat to maintain that gap. All right, last one here, all right, within this progression is I'm going to go all out sprint. My ability to be able to approach the ball carrier, break down, splash my feet, stay in athletic stance, keep my posture, stay fundamental, not open my hips up, it's a lot, okay? So to be able to do this at the highest speed, at the highest level, it takes a lot of practice. And you got your backyard or a partner to be able to do this with, okay? When I'm going out there, I'm full on sprint, I wanna break down, all right? The ability to be able to break down 3 to 4 yards away from where my head of my stick should be is really important. If I break down, okay, inside of that 6 feet, I'm not gonna be able to have the ability to be able to stop him, okay? What I wanna do is start to put on the brakes about 5 yards away. I'm slowing down, I'm breaking down, I'm splashing my feet, and then I'm in good position. All right, next part on that retreat is eliminating any wasted steps. When I go out to the ball carrier full speed, how long and how many steps is it gonna take me to stop and then put on the brakes and retreat to then match his speed? It's very difficult to do if you don't have the proper footwork to do this. Now, as I'm approaching the ball, and you can do this in using cones, doing sprints, what have you, you don't need a partner. What you wanna do is plant your front foot, load it, and then explode back. Just like a Springer shot, all right? I'm going out there, plant, retreating, loading that leg and exploding backward while also making sure that my body isn't going up. I wanna go back. So again, out, plant, and then I'm in good position by sitting in that chair, keeping my head and chin and chest up. So within this next segment, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna be approaching the ball carrier, and we can do this within that cadence of walking to jogging to full speed. Right now, what we're gonna do is at about 75% pace. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go and approach the ball carrier, and he can come at me anytime, all right? As soon as I approach, what he could do within the cadence, I'm approaching, sprint, I have to plant, read and react and maintain my posture, go back. He could wait until I get there. So I'm approaching the ball, right? And then he's coming at me. Or within the next steps, he can sprint at me, slow down, back up, and then re-attack. So go. Good. And at that point, what coach did was he changed his angle. We haven't gotten there yet, but we would at that point have to either drop step or shuffle our feet. Good one, coach.